How far are you in?
I'm on my 5th badge.
Damn. I would have played it with you.
I'll do a restart.
Have you gotten your clubhouse? Your hideout?
No.
You haven't done that?
No.
You didn't like it?
Wait, what?
That's Gen 3, right?
The clubhouse?
Ruby Sapphire? Yeah, where you get like hidden power and you can like open up secret houses, like secret clubhouses.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't done that.
What?
Uh-uh.
I'm gonna have to show you after we're done.
Yeah. I mean, I've been giving my dude little poke lotions.
I don't know what that is.
In general, I'm not threw my back out this morning, dude. I mean, like, overall, I guess I'm fine.
Yeah.
Started a new gig since the last one, and I had like a I don't know if it was like a codependent thing happen, where like I've been with Hudson for so long, you know what I mean? That the first day of like being away from him all day. And I mean, it was like, oh, I tell you what it was too. I figured it out. It was a combination of like me not being around him for that long period of time. And also when I walked into the shop from the first time, walking from the lot to the shop, I had to go by a bunch of mills where like construction, paint, plaster, all those things were. And I got this like overwhelming like tightness in my chest and like this like, oh God, I don't want to do this shit. Like, I don't want to do this. And it just kept persisting all day. Then the more, and there was also this thing with the soldering iron where I walk in and everyone's got the same soldering iron. And I was like, what the hell are these things? It's a smart iron. And I was like trying to look at it and they're like, here's you one. And I was trying to look at it and they were like, this thing's so smart, it's got a brain. So you don't set a heat. It knows based on the touch of whatever it's hitting, how hot it needs to heat. And then it cools itself off and it's just constantly varying. And I was like, that doesn't seem intuitive. Like, I see what you're saying, but it seems like a heat that you want it to stay at and you want it to stay at that heat. So it stays at that heat. Like, to me, it's so smart that it's dumb. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to work with this thing all day and I'm just like, look, I know I'm 6 months out of the game. So like, I got to get back that touch, of soldering. But I was like, I'm looking at my solder points and I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm this, like, I know I'm not this bad. You know what I mean? And I'm working for a new boss and I'm like, I don't want him to look at my panels and be like, dude, we were told that you were like kind of the man, or like, like you're a good guy to bring on. Yeah. And this is what we're doing. So it was that on top of like not being around Hudson. And then I found out like that feeling of going past the mills, it's that smell of the plaster and the paint is the exact same smell that I smelled every single day walking into Guardians, like to every morning. And that show was just traumatic as shit. Mm-hmm. And like it was just all, my body was just like, oh fuck. It immediately went back into that like trauma response or whatever that feeling was from back then, dude. And that first like 2 days, I was like, oh man, like this isn't good. But then I realized what it was and I took a different route into the shops because it was instant. Like as soon as I smelt it, I was flashing back and my body was just like, I mean, I could immediately feel it. But it's been better since then. This morning, dude, I went to go bend over to sweep and to pick up something, and my whole lower back just went like boom. And I was like, I've not felt that in a while. I was like, shit, I had to do my stretches and stuff, and it was just kind of scary. Overall, been okay though. Yeah. But yeah,
it's been a sad week in the anime world.
Yeah. I noticed something. I watched the newest episode of Solo Leveling, or no, not the newest episode 8. Mm-hmm. No, 9.
Mm-hmm. 9 was the last one.
The newest one?
The newest one is 10.
I watched the last one that I watched was the one where they're in the dungeon with the spoiler alert, I guess we should say. For that. Where they're in the dungeon and they're in there with the inmates, and he kills the handler dude, just starts killing him and then starts killing everybody because he's a psychopath. Like, he's the bad guy. Why did I start talking about that?
I don't know. We were talking about sad day in anime.
Yeah. So the artist of Dragonball, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, Toriyama. So did you catch the little nod to Goku in that episode?
No.
Yeah. So there's, you know how Goku does his little like jumping, like warm up shit? It's let's go, boy.
Yeah, I have. I've seen people call that out.
Did you see that? Yeah. I was like watching it and I was like, and it made me wonder like if that was something that they added or if that was like in the original cut
and just a coincidence.
Yeah, or if it's something I have a feeling that it was.
Well, and something they added. I think that's the point of like what I want to talk about is the influence that Dragon Ball, the creation of Dragon Ball, like and Akira Toriyama's like work, has like had on anime, because like you could say that was like a nod to him, if it's possible that's what that was, but it's also possible to say that like the scene of Goku, like you know, dancing in place to warm up is hard as fuck.
Oh, it's sick as shit.
People are like, nah, dude. That's if you want to show that someone's ready to fight, show them like jumping up and down, you know, warming up.
Yeah.
So, you know, either way, like it's definitely like a celebration of the influence and the like legacy that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and all that has had on shonen and battle like style themed anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to that conversation that we've probably had many times, but I remember having it with like a debate with my younger cousin when he was getting into anime, and he was so jacked up on Fire Force and maybe it was My Hero. I know it was Fire Force. Like, he was acting like Fire Force was the second coming of Jesus Christ. And he was talking about how like so great it was. And I was talking about Dragon Ball Z. And it all comes back to that, like that was the archetype, you know, Dragon Ball and like Fist of the North Star. Like that was the dragon, or that was the dragon type. That was the archetype, you know, like those, like I understand that like that form of shonen. Yeah. There's a lot of like wasted time, you know, in power ups and like talking and whatever. The pacing of those shows are very slow, but when it hits, but you know, those shows walked so that these newer generations could run.
Yeah. And also they were made for you know, like teen boys or middle school boys to like, and you know, and girls that liked them, but like they were made so that these kids could come home from school and watch an episode. So some of them are going to be like, oh yeah, that's right, we're powering up because we're really strong, you know?
Yeah, and they also knew like this is coming out on like a daily basis. So it's like, we know that not every kid's going to be able to watch this every single day. Mm-hmm. So you have to give enough of it so that you can kind of get a recap of like, let's say you missed 2 days. You're like, okay, I still know where we're at because not too much has happened.
And honestly, like just on like a business basis, just having those episodes last longer means that you can put more episodes on the network and make more money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your whole show is lengthened. Yeah, for sure.
So,
and that's definitely a strategy.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like cable TV or whatever, it's I don't know what it would be called in Japan, if it's cable or something else.
I don't think it's cable. I think that's just like their that was like their kids WB. Yeah, like their over the airwaves.
Yeah, true
stuff.
This is an interesting. Does Japan have cable TV?
Yeah, they have cable TV. They definitely
they have like
TV.
Like American TV channels and stuff. You think?
Probably. Like they had that's an added
channel or whatever
channel pack that you can get North American TV.
Yeah. But yeah, Yeah, I think it makes sense for those shows to like have those, lengthening techniques in One Piece and Naruto and all that, where they're made so that, to fill that 2:00 hour, kids get out of school, they make it home.
Yeah.
Time to tune in, get those ads,
Dude, yeah, you had your blocks.
Yeah.
Like I remember those like for me, like the big Toonami block when I was a kid was Dragon Ball. No, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was the last one. It was Gundam, Zoids, then Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z. And it was the Buu Saga when this was like, that was the block. And I just remember like, dude, it was so good. Mm-hmm. Like it was so dope. Like it was going between like either Mobile G Fighter or Gundam Wing, were the two Gundams. And then it would go between Zoids, the original season, Chaotic Century, or it would go through like New Century Zero. Yeah. But it was so cool. Yeah. I look back on that time and it's just like, that was like peak, man. Yeah. It was so sick.
See, I missed that era because like I had, mine was Pokemon and Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like that was what I grew up on, mixed with like,
Was Yu-Gi-Oh ever on Toonami though?
I didn't have Toonami.
So yeah, it was on Kids WB, right?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah, that's what I remember watching it on. It was on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturday morning cartoons. That's when I watched it.
Which that was a block, dude. That was like 8:00 in the morning until 12. Yeah. On Saturday. That was wild.
And I would be glued.
Yeah, dude. I remember like my dad at that point when I was watching a lot of that, my dad owned his oil changing business, and he didn't have the cartoons on his TV that he had in his shop. He had like whatever, was on. But our big old turtle top van, it had a TV in it. And so if you parked inside one of his bays in his shop, it had a pretty good signal. And so I would just sit in that van from like 8:00 on Saturday until like 12, till it ended, just watching Kids WB. Wow. Oh my God, man. Like watching Jackie Chan Adventures and like Cubics or X-Men Evolution or, whatever it was.
What was the other one?
Shaolin Showdown.
Shaolin Showdown, yeah. God. Shaolin Showdown was so good.
Mucha Lucha.
Oh yeah, Mucha Lucha, yeah. Yeah.
It was so good. But I remember like Yu-Gi-Oh! When it premiered, it was like the same time that Shia LaBeouf was in it. It wasn't Goosebumps. It was like R.L. Stine's kind of like sequel, I guess, to Goosebumps. What was it called? Not Under the Stairs. Nightmare Room? Nightmare something?
I don't know.
Shia LaBeouf's in an episode of it where there's this doll, like not Slappy, but I think it's like similar to like the Slappy storyline. And it's like trying to turn him into a doll. And he's young. He's like 13 in this. Yeah. But I remember when that show started, that's when Yu-Gi-Oh! Like had just started airing. And it was like, dude, this new show was wow. Like this is some dark stuff. But yeah, those were some beautiful times.
I swear. I think I didn't watch Dragon Ball until I was in college, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I grew up like, I think whenever we finally got cable, I was in the end of middle school, about to start high school. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I had always known about Dragon Ball Z. I had read I had Shonen Jump magazines then. So I was reading it instead of watching it, but it was really cool, like watching it. And then, but yeah, Dragon Ball, I didn't know anything about it other than it was like Kid Goku. And then I watched it in college and oh my God, dude, Dragon Ball, like I don't consider myself a fan of Dragon Ball Z, at this point. Like it just doesn't quite work for me. Dragon Ball Super doesn't quite work for me. Yeah. But man, Dragon Ball, that show is so well done.
Yeah.
It has such a great, like, I don't know, it's a great comedy. the fighting is like good, you know? It's not as focused on the fighting as it is just the adventure.
The adventure,
you know? Yeah. But man, this show's great.
Yeah. It's Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball has more of an air of like innocence to it than Dragon Ball Z does, because like Dragon Ball Z is like every season is like death to all humanity.
Yeah.
You know, and it is all about the fighting, as opposed to Dragon Ball, which is about more of the adventure and like discovery.
Yeah.
You know, and like I don't know. The art in Dragon Ball 2 is like, it's softer. I mean, it was earlier, so it makes sense, but also like it's like everything's rounded, you know, and like after I think that the Cell or the Frieza saga is when Dragon Ball Z started to get like very pointy. Like everything and like their muscle definition started to get like super defined. Yeah. Where if you look back at the earlier seasons of Dragon Ball, everything's sort of looser, rounder. Right. You know? And it's like there was a total shift. Yeah. In like the animation design. That
was so cool too. The first time, like I remember seeing like they made Goku so jacked at one point in Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. He's like, I think he was taking a bath with Goten and Trunks. I think
so. That would be the Buu saga.
Just like absolute. He's massive.
I remember their shoulder muscles. Yeah. Their shoulder muscles had like 10 lines in it, like each individual. You know,
it was like
head.
His like biceps are almost as big as his torso. Yeah, nuts.
And then there was like the Cell. The part of the Cell saga where Trunks just got like juice to the gills. Yeah. You know, whereas like delts are bigger than a basketball. It looks absolutely insane.
I just remembered that I used to have I think it was Android. Which one was the round
blonde
one?
Oh, the one like a doll?
Yeah.
Was that 20?
Maybe.
Because I'm pretty sure it was 20. He went like, it was like 20, and then it went back to 16, 17, or 16, 18, and 19. Yeah. It was 17 and 18.
Yeah, Android 17 and 18 were the brother and sister, right? Yeah. And then 16, or was it?
16 was the big mohawk dude.
Yeah. That turned good, right?
He turned good.
He was cool. That's probably my favorite arc, I think.
He's like, fucking, or he's like, what is he doing? He's like, the bird or butterfly or something lands on his finger, and he's like, what is life? Yeah. You know, he's like contemplating what it means to be a living being.
Yeah, the design of those androids was really good. Android, which one was the scientist?
Dr. Gero.
Yeah, which number was he?
20 or 21, I can't remember.
Yeah. The costumes on those, like the character designs of the androids was really good, and we got Android 18. So
yeah,
the best character in the show.
Well, I don't know. The Big Hair Bulma is still like Big Hair Bulma, where she has that little headband, that like pink headband, I think. Big Hair Bulma and Short Hair Bulma in Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Super, is like, whew, Lord.
What about the who's the? I forget the girl that they discontinued because she was problematic, I guess.
Oh, the girl that Bam? No, what was her name? The one that sneezes and switches from like a sweet little librarian to like a whore. That one, the blonde-haired chick, the gal. Oh God, what is her name?
Well, she was like angry. She just like pull out guns and stuff.
Yeah, but like it went from like Roshi being like, oh, you're kind of cute, to being like, ha ha, I'm gonna get you. Yeah. With her. Yeah. And then she would like blast him full of like her carbine. Yeah. Yeah.
I forget her name. Android 18. That's everyone's favorite.
That's a lot of people's favorite.
It's because you have to like the idea. I've always said, I like whenever they show like humans fall in love with like robot girls, I've always said like I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
Yeah,
like, but yeah, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. It made such a huge impact on like I think like I don't know which came first, Dragon Ball or One Piece.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball came out first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, One Piece was like a total like complete response to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
I think despite the like differences in affection towards the series currently, like Dragon Ball Super, I've heard great things. You know, my brother loves Dragon Ball Super. Lots of people are really into that show, but I don't know. I kind of got tired of that recipe, you know, of storytelling.
Yeah.
Just doesn't quite do it for me. And like, especially like the thing with Dragon Ball Z is what I always say to people on why I don't really like it anymore is they removed the stakes from that show.
Yeah.
You know?
A long time ago.
Yeah.
When they brought Goku back the second time.
Yeah.
When he was supposed to be like dead.
Yeah.
And Gohan was supposed to take over the mantle. And they had a huge knee-jerk reaction where they were like, yeah, we gotta put Goku back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like no matter who it was, like I remember when Krillin gets killed by Vegeta in the original. Was it Vegeta or was it
Raditz? No, he doesn't kill. Raditz kills Yamcha.
No, I don't think Raditz had a chance to kill anyone.
I thought Raditz killed. Oh no, maybe Nappa. Was it Nappa that killed Yamcha?
I don't remember. Was Yamcha the first one to die, or was it Krillin?
I think Yamcha was the first one to die. Oh. Yeah.
No one really cared.
And then he never fought anyone ever again.
Yeah, he was like, nah. Dude.
He's like, nah.
But no, Krillin's death, it was either against Vegeta or one of Vegeta's men.
Oh, the Cybermen people?
Yeah, I think it was against... It's been a long time since I've watched this, but I think it was against Vegeta, if I'm trying to remember correctly.
Yeah.
I remember what it looks like and stuff. This one he did Destructo Disc. Destructo Disc was sick. But yeah, like that was just like such a big moment. And it was so powerful. We're like, are you kidding me? Like they got Krillin?
Yeah.
But
then they're like, hey, Shenron.
Yeah.
Hey,
which
buddy.
was fine. It was fine. Like that's the power of the Dragon Balls. You're like, okay, we got Krillin back. We're okay. And then they did it again.
Yeah.
And then they did it again. And then they did it again. And you're like, so no one's in danger, really.
Yeah. And also, like, my biggest problem with Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super is the fact that, like, it doesn't matter who levels up, in what way, in what route they take to get to that level of power. It doesn't matter. Goku is always going to be the one that saves the day.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we went to go see Resurrection F in theaters, back in 2014 or 15, whenever that was. And there's that point where like Vegeta is about to kill, he's going off on Frieza and he's about to kill Frieza. And you're like, they're finally giving my boy the fight that he deserves. Yeah. He's the Prince of all Saiyans and he's going to take back what's rightfully his for like the pride of the entire Saiyan race. Fuck yeah. And then they're like, just kidding, time rewind.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. And then it's like, Goku's going to have to be the one that kills him. And you're like, are you shitting me right now? Yeah. Like, you just hate my dude that much?
Yeah. And like the time whenever he like was trying to reject his feelings for everybody. And then he sees Bulma get hurt, right? Doesn't he see Bulma get hurt?
Yeah, that's when Beerus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that scene, dude.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. My bride. God, it's that. Yeah, that's a good fucking scene. But then there's also like, it's like whenever the same thing you're talking about in the Buu saga when he's fighting Buu and he's like he's gone Majin Vegeta to like just get the power to beat everyone, Goku and everybody. And then he realizes like, shit, I still can't fucking do it. Yeah. And he has that Vegeta moment where he's like, he's talking to Trunks and he's like, I haven't held you since you were a baby, and he like punches him, and knocks him out. And he hands him off to Piccolo and he's like, when I die, will I go to that planet with like that fool Kakarot? And he's like, no, you've had too much suffering, you've caused too much pain in your life, you won't be reborn. He's like, oh, well. And he just fucking does it anyway.
Yeah.
Fucking final destruction or whatever it is. God, man. But then they fucking, he's able to come back.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, but it's, but that's the thing is like, it's not made for us, right? It's made for like an audience that
it's made for the next generation of 15-year-olds or the people who are just super diehard.
Yeah, and just want to keep it going.
Yeah, and I ride that fence because like I remember how it was like looking in New Type magazine back when I was like 13, 14 and seeing these fan drawings that they had done, and like I have it right here in one of these magazines right here. And there's a picture of it. This is when I can't remember if the Boo saga was going on or if maybe it was GT. I think GT was airing on the Saturday night version of Toonami. And Super Saiyan 4 had just been revealed to North American audiences, right? And we were like, oh my God. And I got that New Type magazine and somebody had sent in like fan art of what Super Saiyan 5 was going to look like. And like, I think Vegeta had like blue fur. He had white hair, kind of like he does in Super Saiyan 4, but it's like all white. And we were like, oh my God. And then it sent out this huge speculation universe of what the next Super Saiyan levels were going to look like, But in the end, it was all going to be, still that same formula of Vegeta almost getting there and then Goku being the one that has to save the day. And that's why I was super hesitant to watch any more of Super. And then my buddy Jeff, he still watches it and he loves it. So he was like, I want to watch it with you. So we were watching it together. And it is fun. And like the tournament arcs and the Black Goku arc is a really cool arc. Because it does like the Days of Future Past type thing where you've got alternate timelines and Trunks coming back again and Gohan's already dead. Adult Gohan's dead. And it's got some cool stuff in there. And then you get to like the tournament arc, the big I forget what tournament it's called, but it's like where all the gods of destruction have to take their realm's best fighters, and whoever's the loser of this tournament, their entire universe gets destroyed by the main little short dude, whatever the fuck his name is. And it's cool. Like, it is cool. And I heard that as it progresses, they've done like they expanded on that thing where Vegeta was like, my route to Super Saiyan wasn't the same as Goku's. Like mine was through like pain and like through my pride, whereas Goku's was like trying to get stronger to save everyone. And it's like apparently as it goes on, like they address the fact that Gohan just got fucking nerfed. Because Gohan becomes a bitch, dude. Which is one of the reasons I quit watching the show. Because like Cell Saga Gohan, you're like, oh my fucking God. And then they're like, just kidding, Super Saiyan Man. Yeah. It's like, what, bro? And then it just snowballs from there for him. But apparently, and later on in Super, they start divulging. It's like, yeah, Gohan's not going to be Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4, but his path to whatever takes a different route to a different kind of power, which is called something else. And it looks different. And the same thing apparently with Vegeta, like his new level is all based off of rage, kind of like legendary Super Saiyan or something like that. But anyway, like I sit on both sides. I think it is cool, but at the same time, it's one of those things where like I don't know if I want to spend my time watching it. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It's just important to like acknowledge its relevance. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, for sure. I finished Kakushigoto. Yeah. I finished that. I dug it. It was really good. Yeah. Yeah, it was really sweet. They wrapped it up really quick. Yeah. Like the last episode I was like, damn. Yeah. Like this was a lot of answers are just like boom, 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 boom.
Were you surprised on the like conclusion?
Yeah, I was a little bit. Because I thought he was just dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess spoilers. There you go. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, the spoiler warnings are like going to be hard to do on a podcast.
Yeah. I'll just put it in the description, I guess. But yeah, so you think he's dead, and it turns out no, he was in a coma, and he was in a coma because he quit writing and had to take all these like little jobs, and like one of them was like as a forklift driver or whatever. An accident happened, a bunch of manga books fell on him and caused him to go to a coma. But it was really good. It was really, really sweet.
Yeah.
There was one point where I was like, no. But it was because I literally had to rewind it because I misread it. I thought that they did something when they revealed that his nephew shows up that looks like him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah. I thought that he was like, your parents were brother and sister. Mm-hmm. The way that I read it the first time, and I was like, no, hold on. That's why her grandpa disapproved the whole time, was because they were brother and sister? What in the fuck? And then I had to rewind it, and I was like, oh, okay, I see. His mom is the Goto's brother. I see what's going on. Okay. Because I was like, no way in hell this has been this sweet of an innocent of an anime this whole time. And they throw this shit in there. But it wasn't. It was just my bad in reading improperly. Yeah. But it was good. There was like, hold on. I marked something in my notes. Yeah. There was this one part in that last episode where they're like, they're trying to get him to draw. They like make his whole hospital room. Yeah. Like they're like, maybe if he just keeps drawing, he'll get back to a point where everything clicks. You know what I mean? And there's this point where somebody says something to him, and he's like, "Don't worry about Hime." He's like, "Don't worry about Hime. Hime's fine right now. She's being watched by somebody. I got to finish this panel." And I was like, "That's weird. Like, this whole show has been about him and like how much he loves his daughter above everything else. And then there's a point where she's gonna tell him, and like break it. But then she is like, she's got tears in her eyes, you know, and he doesn't recognize it's her. Yeah. And she's like, here are your panels, you know, and she doesn't tell him. Yeah. And he's like, he basically is like, because she says like, this is more important. Even if you never know that I'm your daughter, what you love the most is, whether you say it or not, like what you love the most is creating manga. Yeah. And like, that is your purpose. And he's like, well, I don't think you know me very well, because while I do love drawing manga, I would give up everything. Yeah. You know, for Hime. And in that moment, I was like, oh, dude. It was so good. The way that it flipped in a minute, because for a second I was like, that is not his fucking character. Get the fuck out of here. And then when it flipped, and I was like, yes, dude. It was so good. It was so sweet. I was so happy with it. Yeah, it's great. Fantastic anime. What do you think about watching next? Well, I watched... I also finished One Gone Midnight, like 2 nights ago. And so, I don't know. Short answer. I'd have to look on the list of that Crunchyroll list. Fuck, I can never remember the damn name of it. The John Wick one, basically. Ninja Kamui? Yeah, Ninja Kamui. Yeah. I'm watching that one right now, along with Solo Leveling. Yeah. And I'm enjoying both of them. But they're like differently. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, have you watched any of Kamui yet? No. I've been too busy. It's freaking cool. So I'm on like episode 5 or 4. Whatever the newest one is, I'm caught up to it. And it's like, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's dark. Again, like, there's something weird about it. Like, there's something like North American about it.
It is North American, isn't it?
No, it's through a Japanese studio. It's premiering with on Adult Swim.
Yeah. Are we sure?
Yeah, and the dude it's something. What's his name? Something Park. I forget what he's done. No. I could hit you. What is his name? Hold on. 1 second. Oh God. Songnam Park. Hold on. Ninja Kamui. It is Song-Hoo Park. Who did, I feel like he did a lot of stuff. Oh, he's done some Jujutsu Kaisen, God of High School. Garo! He did some Garo.
Ugh, Garo. I love that show.
That was one of the best fucking intros. It was so metal. It was so dope. Kakaguri. Yeah, I mean, he's just a big anime director.
Yeah.
I was thinking, he also did like the newer Scooby-Doo stuff too. So he does North American. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
Did you hear the news? Dang, what show was it?
The news?
Yes. About the producer that was arrested?
What kind of producer?
Anime producer. Mm-mm. For
what?
I'm trying to remember.
You're bringing up a news story and you don't even remember what it was for?
Hold on. Yes. Renowned producer behind anime Suzume, Your Name, arrested for child pornography.
No!
Yeah.
What? Wait, this is a director? Producer.
Yeah. So not as like...
Yeah, not the creator, writer, showrunner, yeah. Well, okay, that sucks. That's not surprising because a lot of those dudes are, they're not great people.
Yeah, the producers,
they're obsessed. They're all about profit. Yeah. So I get it. Who'd have thought? Damn, that sucks though.
Yeah.
What other stuff had he done?
Oh, a girl sent him nudes. Yeah. Ito has admitted to the charges and had nude images that the girl sent to him. He has also told investigators that he had objectionable images of underage girls that were sent to him on several occasions.
Oh, so he's like a multiple time offender. Yeah. Oh, so this is not like I thought she was older.
Yeah.
We met at a bar.
Nah, he likes them young.
Damn. What a shitbag.
Yeah. I don't know what effect that's going to have on the future stories that, like I forget the line of those movies. Yeah. Your Name.
Mirai. Weathering with You. All those, yeah.
Yeah. Garden of Words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, I think any production studio could probably take on those works. Like, we just need those artists.
You need the artist, and like,
because those artists are phenomenal.
Again, like, how vital was his actual role in what he was doing? Yeah. As opposed to being like banks or contacts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But if at that company, like, who knows how vital he was in the beginning of it? But now they're freaking huge. They're Oscar winners.
Yeah.
So it's like. Or at least Oscar nominees. I think they're Oscar winners. Like, does it really matter if one producer gets let go and he has to be replaced? it was a showrunner or if it was one of the creators, I think that would be a blow. That would suck.
That would suck, yeah. Because then you'd have to question your love of the work,
yeah,
too.
You're like dissecting all these things, and it's like, oh, why were they 14 and not a grown adult?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you have your DS on the table?
Yeah, I bought it at what do you call it?
SP? Is it SP?
SP, right? SP, yeah. I got it at CCS about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I got one of those RAM drives, or those ROM drives that's got.
You replaced a battery in your game, right?
Yeah.
Will you replace a battery in mine? Because I have an SP too.
Yeah. In your game or your SP?
My SP should be fine, right? I have the cable and everything.
Yeah, it should. But I mean, if it's still like you're probably only going to get like maybe 4 hours of play out of it at this point, but yeah. It's fine.
True.
Probably. But yeah, those are super easy, and the cartridges are too. They're literally just one solder point or two solder points, and that's it. So yeah. What games?
My old Pokemon games,
like Silver or Gold.
Yes, but also I have Yellow, I have Silver and Gold, and I have.
So are they already dead? Are the batteries already dead?
I haven't checked them in a long time.
So check them and let me know
if that thing pops up.
Yeah, because the yellow, red, blue, and yellow last for ever, dude. Because there's no internal clock system on that game. The reason Silver, Crystal, that's so loud. The reason that Silver, Gold, Crystal, the reason that they die is because that was the first generation where they added the clock system, the time system. So there's an actual internal clock, like a mechanical internal clock on those cartridges that's always running. So it's always running the battery down. Wow. Yeah. So if those are probably already dead. So those files are gone. But if the other ones are still alive, you just take another battery and take leads from it onto the board while that one's still there. So then you can add a different solder point. That way, it's still got power even when you take off the old battery, and then you place the new battery and then take off those points. But it's super easy. I'll do it for you. No worries.
Yeah, I'm in the mood to play Silver and Gold again.
Yeah,
I want the music. I want the the feel, the texture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Same with my other games, Fire Red, Leaf Green. I love those games.
That one, that ROM has fire. It's got Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sapphire, Emerald.
Wow.
And what was the other one? Ruby. It's got Gold, Silver, Crystal, and Red, Blue, Yellow.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it was like $30.
Wow.
Off of Etsy.
Oh.
Yeah.
And does it
saves, trades, all of it? Yeah, dude. Awesome. It's crazy how
send me the link. I might pick one
up. It's super crazy how simple those systems were back then, and also still ahead of their time. It's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been burning through Sapphire because I never played all of it. I remember I borrowed it for a month or something from one of my buddies when I was younger.
How far are you in?
I'm on my 5th badge.
Damn, I would have played it with you.
I'll do a restart.
Have you gotten your clubhouse, your hideout?
No.
You haven't done that?
No.
You didn't like it?
Wait, what?
That's Gen 3, right?
The clubhouse?
Ruby Sapphire? Yeah, where you get hidden power and you can open up secret houses, secret clubhouses.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't done that.
What?
I'm
gonna have to show you after we're done.
Yeah, I've been giving my dude little poke lotions.
I don't know what that is.
I had to make lotions or something or sun lotions or something out of berries, and you give them to your Pokemon and it gives them different stats. For judging contests and shit
I loved the contests, man.
Yeah,
I had my Gardevoir. like maxed out, winning everything.
Yeah,
I played. That's what I spent a lot of time playing the competitions.
Yeah, it's a really fun little side game.
The beauty pageant.
Yeah,
I love the beauty pageant.
Dude, I tell you, a Pokemon that I got in that I don't ever remember getting, if I'm being honest, was a Sableye. My Sableye is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's such a good Pokemon.
Yeah, Sableye is great.
Right now he's kind of maxed up with my Mudkip. Right now they're kind of my two big boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't played in probably a week. But it's it's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it.
That's awesome. I want to play mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably going to do a full refab on this body because it's really worn, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember I wanted the SPs because they were the first gen with the backlit screen. Mm-hmm. And, but the backlit screen is only if you look at it straight on. If you tilt it at all, it's you can see the line of light going. It's really bad. Mm-hmm. Whereas now the new IPS screens are kind of wild, and you can get whole new bodies for them. You know, all you need is the board from inside. Yeah, and I think it's legitimately one solder point. That's it. So they're super easy to replace. Yeah. So I'm probably going to do that. I found the one with the Pikachu one, whereas his little cheeks light up with the LED. Ooh. Yeah, probably going to get that one or the Gengar one. Mm. So awesome. Or that who's the dude, the Pokemon from Emerald, the green legendary
Rayquaza.
Yeah. Rayquaza. He had one, and so I might get that one instead because it looks really cool. And just do a refab. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that Wangan Midnight show. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever watch it, but it's it's totally different in my opinion. You haven't, or you have watched Initial D?
I have not.
So Initial D I feel is this overreaching, not overreaching, but its shadow moves along so many different fandoms. Yeah. Whether you are into progression in anime, or you just you want to be into cars, or you're really into drifting or whatever. I feel it's really general. Whereas Wangan Midnight, and it also, I think I talked about it, it has that levity to it. Initial D does. It has that comedic factor. Wangan Midnight is serious as shit. And I thought at some point it might kind of let up. Never does. It's just haunting the whole time. And I think I talked about it before, where you kind of never know, is the Devil Z, is that car actually haunted? Is it possessed? Or is it just this this idea behind it that infects everyone else, which is kind of what it is. But I think that Initial D is an anime for kids who are kind of into cars and enjoy drifting in toge. Wangan Midnight is a tuner's anime, or an actual gearheads anime. Yeah. Because the thing is, it's every new character that's introduced into Wangan Midnight, their sole purpose is to cause a reaction between Akio or Blackbird to level up in some way. So whether that's changing an intake system, or refabbing your chassis, or your whole suspension, or your brakes, or doing a carbon fiber work, or whatever it is. It's these little micro changes throughout the whole series that add up to their ultimate goal of making the fastest car in Japan. And the way they go about it, it's not they'll do something, they're yeah, we put a new engine in. It's they go through every little thing, and it's kind of meticulous to a point where some people might watch it and they're this is fucking boring, because they're just talking about exactly what they did. But if you're yes, it's fucking awesome, the amount of detail that goes into it. Yeah. I was really surprised by it. And it's only 26 episodes, I think. Yeah. Really short. Really rad though. And like it stays the course the whole way as far as like this is the purpose of this guy. Like this is his goal. And like he's totally blinders on. This is all I give a fuck about. I know that I'm destroying my life, you know, and like I'm destroying all of my relationships.
Yeah.
But this is all I want. Like it's just me, the Devil Z, and chasing the top speed on the Wangan until the sun comes up.
Yeah.
You know? It's freaking cool, man. If you ever get a chance to just dabble, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I think the car theme of anime is one that I haven't explored yet. Like I've seen almost every like genre of anime there is, but I haven't seen like anything based around cars yet.
Yeah. It's really good. And there is like some things that happen in it. Like I think I told you about a time jump that happens where like, am I stupid or something? Or like, what did I miss? And then I looked at the comments and literally every comment in the section was like, dude, I had no idea what was going on for like a solid 10 minutes. Like, because one of the characters looks exactly like the main character. And it's like, when the fuck did he get his girlfriend? When did he get a girlfriend? When the hell did she get pregnant? Yeah. Like, when did he get this job? Like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just because like the character designs look so identical. You know, weird. It's so weird. And then they don't explain what just happened in the, like there's a huge time jump that maybe is in the manga that they explain, but in the anime maybe they were crunched for time and stuff, so they're just like, we're just gonna squeeze on by that and hopefully you guys figure it out. But other than that, it was a dope ass anime. Would recommend.
Nice.
Yeah. What are you thinking about Solo Leveling so far?
I like it. I mean, I love the show. It's great. It's fun.
I have a question I'm gonna have to ask you.
Okay. I'm curious on where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting these themes of like the idea that the main character is losing his like emotions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate that the show is calling it out. Like he's saying like, yeah, I feel like I'm losing a part of me every time I have to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that they're calling it out, but I'm also curious on what they're going to do, because if this is just like going to be a show where he just gets stronger and stronger every episode, and then he's going to like keep losing parts of himself to where he's just like a beast at the end, like it's not the most interesting story.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm hoping that that they are calling it out because they plan to like throw some kind of like turn in the story.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, like, I don't know. It feels like the story is just throwing him obstacles to help him level up.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see more of like an actual plot.
Yeah.
You know? But it is cool to see how he levels and stuff like that. Is like very like that type of stuff when it comes to the leveling and the grinding and the like learning abilities and stuff like that. Is something that I've always been into in like different isekais and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's been cool. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it's gonna wrap up, you know.
Do you think they're gonna do a turn? Like the whole point, like he's the main character, he's the hero. But it's like every great villain, they are the hero of their own story.
Yeah.
Do you think they're planting seeds to do a turn? Or do you think they're going to stay the course and he's like going to have to maybe like recognize that, like he's already doing, like he's already seeing like, holy shit, me and that guy were actually more similar than I would like to admit.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. They've barely introduced any characters.
Would it bum you out if they did that? If they made him the villain?
I think it would, because like, I don't know. We just got done with Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And we saw like no one cared about that plot.
Yeah.
Like no one was interested in that type of storytelling. And I just don't think it works. Like I don't think.
Well, it can work as long as it's impactful and it's done in a way that actually has meaning. And it's like, this is why this had to happen, you know? And it's like, if it's done in a way that's not tropey, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. Guilty Crown did the same thing. Like its main character got really, really powerful and like got kind of pushed into a corner to where they had to kind of like become the bad guy, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it just got so lame. It was just so lame because you want someone to root for, you know? And you want to be able to like, I don't know, I'm a sympathetic watcher. Like I want to feel what the main character is going through and stuff. And whenever they start to change to like that type of path, I can't follow it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just my personal opinion. Like other people feel completely differently. Yeah. But
also, do you think there's a break at some point where like you lose connection because of like, so like in the beginning, he's a no one, like he's E rank, lowest of the low. And it's like, oh, like the viewer has this like, oh, I am that person. Like I don't have any, you know, power in this world either. And so like they're the lens for the viewer, and up to a point they are, but then at some point there is a switch where it's like they're not me anymore.
Yeah, well, I think this is the thing is, even whenever he started getting stronger, we were able to follow along because we were like, okay, he killed these 3 wolves in the dungeon. That's like 1 level each. He applied those to like this and this and that.
Yeah.
And like if you're watching like how he's leveling, you're like equating that to like how you would do it and stuff like, oh, he put a lot into strength. I would have maybe put a little bit more into this or that, you know?
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where like his power, like his strength has gone up, his level's gone up so high.
Yeah.
Where like they stop showing it because now it's like out of reach. So now it's just like, yeah, he's strong.
Yeah.
You know? And they also haven't really showed the gaps between like E
to A, because
like or just from like C to B, B to A.
Well, even in that episode when the dude who was the superior of the guy who was the killer, he was like, you know, you're an A rank. I know that he can like completely level me.
Yeah.
But then he's like, well, you're not. He's talking to the guy, the old guy, and he's like, you're a C rank, and you were able to beat him, who's a very high B rank.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess because you've got a healer, that's okay. And it's like,
yeah,
that's not how it was kind of explained before. Like if you're a full rank ahead of somebody, not just a rank, but like kind of like a rank and a half, depending on where they are in their rank.
Yeah.
You know, like even if you have a healer, dude.
Yeah.
Math doesn't check out.
Yeah, and we don't know like because it feels like the way they talk about the different levels, it seems like C to B is a crazy huge jump and B to A is a crazy huge jump.
Yeah.
But we don't know exactly like what the measurements are, so it's hard to like gauge like how strong he is, you know?
Yeah.
Because we know that right now he's somewhere in between B and A,
right?
Like in his level, but it's hard to say like how much.
So let me ask you a question too. Maybe this is painfully obvious and I've just missed it. Is he in an isekai? Like, is he in another world already? Is he in a game? What exactly is happening?
No,
because I find myself being like, okay, so this is the real world, and then something in reality is breaking, and that's why he has this like, you know, the code, all the thing, or is this like a Matrix type thing where he's already in a codex? Everything is already in the code.
Yeah. I think it still wouldn't necessarily be an isekai because it's like...
Because they've talked about, or is it like, that is the game, like he is in the game, and like these breaches that have been happening, that is new players coming into the world. You know what I mean? Like that's allowing access to the players in the real world. I don't know. I was just like, did I miss something? Or they're just like playing with it at the moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't think I would say it's quite an isekai because as far as he knows, he's in his own world.
Yeah.
And the rules of his world are a little different than like, you know, like our world. But it's still like his world that he's used to. Like he's grown up in that type of environment. The video game thing, the leveling and all that, this like weird like computer operating system that he's being like equipped with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be like, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what they're going to, I think this is where I was at. I was like, I don't know what they're planning on revealing. Like, I don't know exactly what this device or thing is, but it could be like aliens or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting. I was like, what is the reveal?
Yeah.
Like, what is going to be the reveal?
Yeah. Because it's kind of like, So I'm a Spider.
I never watched it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but it's so good.
What do you mean it's terrible?
It's not good. But
it's good for like, why is it good then?
Well, it has
like, is it tongue in cheek? Like, it knows it's bad?
No, there's two stories happening simultaneously.
Okay.
There's, I forget her name, but the spider, and the voice actor, the animation, and the plot of her story is so good.
Yeah.
So good. Like, the voice actor is fantastic. Like, it's like a leveling system, but she's a spider. Was like reincarnated as a spider from another world. So it's an isekai, but she's a spider, literally a spider in a dungeon.
Yeah.
And she's like leveling up and like gaining powers and stuff, based on her like otaku knowledge from before. It's so good. But then they switch to like outside world with like some other kids that were reincarnated, and they are like not animated well and not voice acted well and not like weren't given a good plot. Like, it's almost like it's written by two different teams. It's so bad. So you just watch to get the spider stuff. But
okay,
you know, it's one of my favorites. Like, if I could erase all of the outside world and just compile all the spider journey into one, I would. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch because it's very entertaining watching how she navigates through this like life as a spider. And she also becomes one of my waifus. So yeah,
okay,
yeah. I'm not gonna explain any further. You'll have to watch it. But
okay.
Anyways, the reason I brought that up is because the whole thing is like, it's like a fantasy world, but then all of a sudden, like, she will get like a screen with like levels, and she's like, oh, this is weird. And then she ends up like talking to an admin. She's like, what is this? Why am I talking to an admin right now? Like, what is, so it's kind of like that. Like, it's like, is this like, have you watched, man, I'm just connecting a bunch of shows together. Alice in Borderlands?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Okay. It's kind of like that. It's like where like, it's their world, but all of a sudden there's like some kind of influence. There's some kind of like something like kind of takes over.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, so because we know like these portals are popping up, so something's contributing to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was just I've been kind of confused by it.
It's almost like a reverse isekai where he's not being teleported to a new
It's like
world.
he's an NPC or something.
Oh, I was going to say like he's a regular person, but then an isekai world is being kind of like pushed into their world.
See, I was like, I didn't know. Like, I have a feeling, and people are probably listening to this like, it's not it at all, you fool. That like, the real world, that like they're not they're not main characters. Like any of them, they're all NPCs, and like the NPCs are getting sentient. Like the ones who are being second awakenings, they're getting sentience, and they're becoming like an actual thinking thing, and they're leveling up to a point that's like going to take them out of the game. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I don't. I've never read it, so
it's an
I
interesting
don't know.
theory. So
yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Like the whole thing with his mom. Like, I get that that's his drive, but they also haven't really
plot device. It's a plot device.
Yeah,
right now.
They didn't really like his sister. Like, doesn't really feel like they're close.
No, that's what I'm saying. NPC.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying that. It's like these are very on the surface storylines.
So as he's like,
and that's what he's always in. He's in this loop of like saving, like doing this to save mom, provide for sister. This is my like role in this game. It's what I'm supposed to do. And all of a sudden he gets a reawakening, and it's like it's going to become where it's like something more than that.
Maybe. But they're also showing like his sister outside of his journey. Like she's living her own life too, right?
Sorta, but it's kinda, but it's like she's tagging along.
Yeah, she's just in school. It is very strange. I know it has like, I know the show's good, so I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah, I enjoy it. And I think it is good. The animation's on point. And
it is. It's fantastic. I need just a little bit more. Just a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing that did like, I put it in my notes. There was this scene before they go into the last dungeon that they did with the inmates where like they're seeing each other for the first time since that raid where everything went wrong. And there's like this like, oh shit, like that's blah, blah, blah. But then like they just, him and the old guy just go right back into it and like this really kind like interaction and like they're friends. And it reminded me of like being on a bad film set, like being on a shit show, a dumpster fire where you're just getting the shit kicked out of you for months at a time. And like, you're so deep in the muck where like, you're just holding on to each other, trying to survive. You know what I mean? And after it's over, you don't talk to any of those friends who got you through it. You don't talk to them at all. You kind of lose contact because like being in contact with them makes you relive that shit until enough time has passed. And then like you run into them on another film set 2 years later. And then all that bullshit, that trauma that was killing you, you laugh about it. You know what I mean? And then it's like it's totally fine. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, dude, that's so weird. Like the way that it happened, or like that's how it felt to me. Yeah. I don't know. It was just strange. It was like art imitating life in a way. Yeah. Like, cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wonder if it's the same for some of the animators. Yeah. Where they're just like reconnecting with old animating buddies. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I was going to bring up one thing about this anime that I don't like. Overall, I really dig it. I'm going to keep watching it. It's cool. I like it. What the fuck is up with the soundtrack? The intro for this damn show? Poo Poo Kaka.
What show?
Solo Leveling.
Oh. The intro? I skip it.
Me too. Every single time. Because it's boo poo.
Is it?
It's so bad, dude. Oh. I don't know what the whole point of a good intro, especially for a show like this, fucking hype me up, man. Give me some Lisa or some pillows or birthday or something that's fucking just going. Like it makes me want to take on this world with him. This is like this. I can't even describe it. It's like nothing. It's just, I mean, it's like nothing. And then the same thing with the outro. The last 10 seconds of the outro is like, oh, this could be a pretty cool song. But the whole, like when I think of like outro music, like I think of like great ones. I mean, one that comes to mind every single time that like whenever that sucker kicked in, I was like, give me the next episode, was in Iron Blooded Orphans. The soundtrack, the outro for the first season or the first half of the first season, where it's this like super big operatic thing. It was like, oh my God, dude. And it would come in before the episode was ending too. Ooh, God, it was good. This has none of that.
What about the song, the OST that they did in the first episode of Solo Leveling? Or maybe it wasn't the first episode. It might have been, where he's like, just letting you know, I've been leveling up this whole time.
That's the ending song. I'm pretty sure that's the ending song, but they let it play out. Yeah. And so it kind of works. Like it's longer. The way that they do it in every ending, though, it doesn't build. You're like, all right, now it's going to come in. Okay, well, we're not hitting it yet. All right, but now, shit, really? No, we're still letting it go. And it does that for a long period of time until like the very end of the song, and then it finally kicks in. But then it ends. Like then the actual credits end, and you're like, what in the shit was this? Like I'm going to skip this every freaking time.
Are you talking about the intro or the outro?
Both.
Oh. See, I like the outro.
The intro is just bad. Like the song itself is just a bad song.
Yeah, I don't think it was one that grabbed me at all. Yeah.
Yeah, or at least in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can tell the outro is a good song though.
It's not doing any heavy lifting. I'll tell you that right now. Like, you know, some anime have that, like where it's like the show is good, but like the intro is doing some heavy lifting right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And this is. I hope that it gets really good because the intro doesn't help it at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I like I said, I just skip it. So
yeah.
It hasn't really been on my mind. I think I definitely notice when a show has good intro outro, and then when it doesn't.
If it has Lisa involved.
Well, I love Lisa, but there's a lot of other intros.
No, they're great. I'm just saying that as a joke.
For Oshinoko.
Here, what's that one?
Oshinoko. You need to watch that next. I was gonna say.
What is
Oshinoko? That's the one. It's honestly, I don't think I could explain the plot to you.
Is it new this past season?
Yeah, it's or season before. It's about idols.
Oh,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I saw that on there. Yeah, good.
It's incredible, dude.
Okay, all right.
We watched the entire series in LA.
Oh, I saw the idol thing and I was like, I don't know if that's my thing. So I was like,
nah, dude. It's
Oshinoko.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's not just about idols. Like, it does cover like being an idol and like the struggles that idols go through with like depression or anxiety, or how auditions work, how like doing different types of media. If you're a singer, you still do some acting. If you're an actor, you still do some singing, things like that. It covers all that, but also covers like some really dark stuff, like murders and stuff like that. It is crazy.
Okay.
It's so crazy, and it's really good. The main character, super dope. And that intro, the intro is tight.
Is it one where it's like the girls who are the idols are the ones doing the singing, or is it a completely different band?
I don't know the answer to that. I can't remember. But here's the intro.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay. I mean, yeah.
That's a
pumps.
good way.
I like it.
That's a good way to start an episode. This show is so good. You'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's dark though, so be ready for like some intense.
I like it.
Intense stuff.
How many, is it done? It's a one and done?
No. It's still going. They season 2 has been announced.
Okay.
So,
how many episodes are in the? Is it like a full season or like 12 episodes, 13 episodes so far?
Ooh, I don't remember if it's 12 or 24. Oshinoko might be 24 episodes.
Okay.
That might be a lot though. It watches like almost like a shonen drama kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, it's really good. It doesn't feel like it's not like a pop idol girl group show. Like, it's about like grit and like, yeah, fantastic.
Okay. I'll give it a look-see.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I can't find it. Anyways. Yeah, I would recommend watching that. I don't know if you can play that song on the podcast.
I'm gonna have to cut it out. It'll probably get us fined.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna be it for the Born to Be Nerd podcast. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to keep track of future podcasts, you can follow us on the many different streaming sites that we're on. You can follow us on Born2BNerd at YouTube. You can follow us on Born2BNerd_live on Twitch. And we'll be keeping everyone updated on future podcasts.
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, all of them.
Yeah, full gamut of streaming sites.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.